here today with Professor Gerald Epstein, who is a professor of economics at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, and is also one of our grantees from our inaugural round, with a very challenging and interesting grant called How Big is Too Big? What should finance do and how much should it be cut down to size? Okay, Jerry.
Hello.
I've just read your proposal to refresh it in my mind. And it is dealing with basically the problem of our age, okay? The relationship between the financial sector and the real economy that produces all the goods that we eat and live in and so forth. You're trying to figure out how much of this financial sector is doing good stuff for us and how much of it is a waste. Have I got that right?
That's correct. The financial sector has grown dramatically in size in many parts of the world over the last 20 years. And many economists and people in many places think that it's gotten too big. So we're trying to figure out how bloated is it? What does finance really do to serve the economy, and how big really should it be?
So a lot of this is like a measurement project. You have this word that keeps coming back, the functionally efficient financial system. Explain what that's all about.
Yeah, we took this term from James Tobin, the Nobel laureate, who
from Yale University.
From Yale, yes. And he talked about efficiency, the concept of financial efficiency, and came up with a taxonomy of 4 different concepts. And one of them, and the one that really is informing our project, is functional efficiency. I mean, when you think about the financial sector, you think it's supposed to serve the real economy. How does it serve the real economy? Well, by mobilizing savings, allocating savings to productive uses to help the economy grow. It also serves an insurance function. It's a way of reducing risks and spreading and pooling risks. And it also allows people to what economists call intertemporally allocate. That is, save when they're young and then spend it down when they're old.
So finance is a good thing.
So finance is a two-sided thing. On the one hand, when finance is operating well, it performs these functions well. But when finance is getting too big, too powerful, too destructive, it can actually lead to financial instability, or it could lead to a financial crisis like we've just experienced.
So what you call functionally inefficient finance is the amount of finance or the size of the financial sector that's above and beyond this good part, is that right?
That's right, but we're going to come at this from a number of different angles. One is historically. We're going to look at periods of time when finance appears to have played a very positive role in the growth of the economy. So for example, the so-called golden age of capitalism, which many economists think ran roughly between 1950 and 1975 or 80, when finance is widely thought in many parts of the world to have contributed to investment and these insurance functions and so forth. And then look at what finance has been doing more recently, say in the last 10 or 15 years. And there I think we'll find that it's been engaged in a lot of turnover, trading, maybe gambling activities, what economists often call speculation, and try to measure the relative sizes of these different types of activities over a broad historical period.
But you're also looking, I think, at the balance sheets, at the individual income numbers of particular investment banks.
That's right.
Detailed micro study.
Right. So a second way of doing it is going down from the macro level to a more micro level. So we've done some preliminary work looking at revenue sources of the 5 big banks, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, and so forth, to see where their profits came from. Do they come from underwriting activities to help cities sell municipal bonds? Did they come from trading securities? And we found that with a very crude initial estimate, that 50% or so of these firms' revenues in the last 8 years or so came from what we think of as purely trading activities. And at least some of that is speculative and gambling. Now, it's complicated because some speculation can be useful. That is, Milton Friedman wrote an article many years ago about speculation in financial markets. And he says that there's some speculation that's necessary to drive exchange rates to their fundamental level, whereas destabilizing speculation is harmful because it drives exchange rates away from their fundamental level. So it's not simply enough to say that something is speculative and something else is non-speculative.
Well, this is certainly an important project. It sounds difficult, but we're glad that you're taking it on. One of the dimensions of this, though, is also the political economic dimension, the political power of the banks and so forth. And you use this word socially inefficient. Which I think about regulatory capture and so forth. And that's a whole other piece of this problem.
That's right. And the hypothesis that many people have suggested is that the larger the financial sector, the more money that they're able to invest in politics, and the more that skews the political system towards distributing income to elites, to cutting taxes, financial deregulation, which might harm the economy. So one of the costs of having too large and too powerful a financial sector might be the distortion of the political process towards an elite based in finance and away from most of the rest of us.
Now, Jerry, it sounds to me like your research, your scholarly work, is directed to some extent by your political positions, or you're energized to do economics in the first place by a notion that economics has a role to play in society. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into economics in the first place? Wasn't your bachelor's degree was in political science, right?
That's right.
You didn't start in economics.
That's correct. I started in political science. I had a minor in economics. Yeah. And I wanted to understand the world so that I could play a role in helping to change it for the better. And I quickly realized that understanding the economy and how the economy worked was really crucial for understanding how to what's wrong with the political economic system and how we can improve it. So I decided to go to graduate school first in public policy, and then switched to economics and got my PhD. So I think...
You went to Princeton. What did you write your dissertation on?
Well, I wrote my dissertation on the political economy of the Federal Reserve System.
So you've been doing this for quite a while.
That's right. So I was trying to understand what motivated the Federal Reserve in its policy, and the hypothesis of my dissertation was that the financial sector had a big impact on the Federal Reserve's policy. So I've always looked at economics as a political economic discipline, at least the way I do it.
But you've never really been in, you've always been in academic settings. I'm looking at your CV, and you were at Williams, a liberal arts college.
That's right.
You were at the New School in Manhattan.
That's right.
The belly of the beast, I suppose. And now you're out in Western Massachusetts, the beautiful Pioneer Valley. So these are three different settings, and yet you've continued to do the same kind of work. Maybe for our listeners, what was that like? What of these places is best for doing work, or does it affect your work, or how do you maintain a research agenda through all these different settings?
They've been stimulating in different ways. When I was at Williams College, I had a lot of undergraduate students who were really interested in trying to understand why our society is evolving in the way it is and what they can do to improve it. And so we had seminars on Marx and Keynes and financial economics. And I've been in contact with these same undergraduates, seen them, followed them through their career over the last 30 years. It's been really wonderful to see what they've all been doing. In the New School was exciting because it was primarily a graduate program, and research was the main focus there. And so then I could really focus on my research. At UMass, it's kind of a combination. Undergraduate research. What I like about UMass is it's a public institution, so we get people coming to school there from all walks of life. And so it keeps me in contact with a broad variety of students. But my focus has been the same. It's how economics can inform politics, how politics can inform economics, and how we can use all of this to help make the world a better place.
So you've never been tempted to run for office or join a policy think tank or something like that? You like being an academic?
Well, in fact, one of the things that I did at UMass about 12 years ago was with my colleague Bob Poland. we started a think tank, the Political Economy Research Institute.
Your own think tank?
That's right. So I'm the co-director of PERI, the Political Economy Research Institute. And its idea is to engage in policy-relevant research. Just to be clear about one thing, if one is an academic and one is doing economic analysis that's engaging with policy and politics, it has to be rigorous. It has to be objective. Politics might drive the questions that we ask, but it does not drive the answers. It does not drive the numbers that we come up with or the analysis that we do. So the goal of PERI and the research we do there and the research that I've done is to use rigorous, objective, hardcore economics with a historical, institutional, theoretical and empirical component to try to answer questions that are important and are motivated by politics and how to make the economy better.
Well, as you know, INET, we're not a policy institute, we're a research institute, and we're really happy to have you among our group of INET economists. So thank you very much.
Thank you.